Africa's struggle for autonomy, beyond the master-slave paradigm. The assertion that Africa is still perceived as a slave nation rather than a partner, entangled in a master versus slave relationship with the United States and former colonizers, reflects a complex narrative steeped in historical injustices and contemporary power dynamics. This essay explores the nuances of this perspective, delving into the intelligent scope surrounding Africa's struggle for recognition as a sovereign and equal partner on the global stage. Historical roots of exploitation. A. The legacy of colonialism has left deep scars on Africa, shaping perceptions of the continent as a resource to be exploited rather than a partner to engage with. B. The intelligent scope includes an understanding of how historical injustices continue to influence contemporary power dynamics. Economic exploitation and resource ownership. A. The assertion that the U.S. and former colonizers consider Africa as a possession speaks to the economic exploitation of the continent's vast resources. B. Intelligent scope involves scrutinizing economic agreements, resource extraction practices, and trade imbalances to discern the extent of external control. Global arrogance and criminal minds. A. The characterization of arrogance and criminality points to the perception that powerful nations impose their will upon Africa without regard for its people or sovereignty. B. Analyzing diplomatic, economic, and geopolitical strategies allows for a deeper understanding of the mechanisms through which dominance is maintained. People's anger and revolt. A. The prediction of an imminent backlash underscores the intelligent scope of social movements and grassroots activism across Africa. B. The essay contemplates the various forms of resistance, from civic movements to political upheavals, that may challenge the existing power dynamics. 99% versus 1% dynamics. A. The assertion that the awakening of the 99% will instigate fear in the 1% highlights the power dynamics within societies. B. Intelligent scope encompasses the examination of social, economic, and political indicators to gauge the potential for a paradigm shift in power structures. Conclusion. Africa's struggle for autonomy is a multifaceted narrative that demands a nuanced understanding of historical legacies, contemporary power dynamics, and the resilience of its people. The intelligent scope involves dissecting economic, diplomatic, and social dimensions to unravel the complexities of the master versus slave relationship. As the call for recognition and equality gains momentum, the global community must engage in a collective dialogue that transcends historical prejudices, fostering a more inclusive and equitable partnership with Africa. Machiavellian dynamics, decoding Africa's position in global power struggles. Applying a Machiavellian approach to the assertion that Africa is perceived as a slave nation, not a partner, sheds light on the intricate power dynamics at play in the global arena. This essay navigates the Machiavellian landscape surrounding Africa's struggle for autonomy, examining the tactics employed by the United States, former colonizers, and the continent itself. Historical subjugation as a Machiavellian prelude. A. Machiavelli's emphasis on the acquisition and maintenance of power finds resonance in the historical subjugation of Africa during the era of colonialism. B. The intelligent scope involves recognizing the long-term consequences of this subjugation in shaping Africa's perceived role in global power struggles. Economic exploitation as Machiavellian strategy. A. Machiavelli's pragmatic approach to power suggests that nations act in their self-interest to maximize resources and influence. B. Analyzing economic exploitation in Africa reveals Machiavellian strategies at play, where powerful nations seek to maintain dominance through control over resources. Global arrogance and criminal minds as Machiavellian tactics. A. Machiavelli's acknowledgement of the darker side of politics aligns with the assertion of global arrogance and criminal minds. B. Understanding these traits as calculated tactics, the intelligent scope involves discerning how these behaviors serve the interests of powerful nations in their pursuit of dominance. Anticipating people's anger and revolt. A. Machiavelli's insights on maintaining stability highlight the importance of anticipating and managing potential sources of discontent. B. The intelligent scope encompasses monitoring societal sentiments, identifying potential flashpoints, and assessing the risks of uprisings against external control. 99% versus 1% dynamics as Machiavellian realpolitik. A. Machiavellian realpolitik principles come to the forefront when considering the dynamics between the awakened 99% and the trembling 1%. B. The intelligence scope involves analyzing power structures, alliances, and potential shifts in the balance of power as the masses demand a re-evaluation of global relationships. Conclusion. In a Machiavellian world, Africa's struggle for autonomy becomes a strategic chessboard where power, control, and manipulation intersect. Understanding the historical precedents, economic maneuvers, and calculated strategies employed by both African nations and external actors requires a Machiavellian intelligence scope. As Africa navigates this complex landscape, it becomes imperative to master the art of realpolitik, anticipating moves, leveraging power dynamics, and ensuring that the continent secures its rightful place in the global hierarchy.